Good Monday morning to you all. Hopefully you're starting to get up and hopefully you can get ahead on this day. We got another Watchmen update for you. A lot of big news items out there. We got a major tsunami warning after a major earthquake hit off the coast of Tonga. A little closer to home, we have a big ice storm in Michigan, which has knocked out power for over 100,000 people. President Trump has now finally said the quiet part out loud, that if Iran doesn't agree to a nuclear deal, they will be attacked by U.S. warplanes. We got major new Russian sanctions coming if Putin doesn't agree to end the war in Europe. And we're now starting to see the organizations behind and funding these Tesla riots across the United States. A major test over in Norway of a German rocket system fails. It went up a little bit, but then it kind of came down pretty hard. Huge embarrassment for Europe as they try to match what SpaceX from Elon Musk is doing out there. More meat packing plants shutting down across the United States, and one Watchman goes off on what their primary care doctor tried doing to them after they tried getting a second opinion, which is probably a good idea these days. Shocking to see. You need to hear the story. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all over about what's going on out there, what you guys are hearing, what you guys are seeing. Appreciate all of you who are part of the Watchmen community. If you have something to share, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. That gets it to the right place. All right, we do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. If you have a retirement account and you're not so sure you want to be in stocks and bonds, you're not happy with the options that you have with your current provider, you can move it over into physical metals. If you want to find out more about that, Jonathan and his team would love to talk to you. Their information will be on a link at the end of this video. All right, President Trump has said that there will be bombing if Iran fails to make a peace deal, threatening to punish Iran with also with what he calls secondary tariffs. Now, President Trump has started floating these not only for Iran, but we're going to hear basically doing the same thing with Russia. We just launched these against Venezuela. So basically what we're going to do is not sanction the country itself, because we don't have any trade deals with these countries. But what we're going to do is we're going to start sanctioning anyone who does business with these countries. We've been doing a little bit of that, but President Trump is promising to do a lot of that against Iran. We're already doing it against Venezuela more, and we're looking at doing that against Russia because, as it's saying, Trump is pissed off with Putin and has threatened tariffs or secondary tariffs on Russian oil if Putin doesn't agree to a peace deal in Eastern Europe. I don't know if that's going to work, but he's been trying to get a peace deal with Russia, but it looks like Russia doesn't really want a peace deal, at least not anywhere near the terms that the Europeans and Americans want to offer. Pentagon Defense Secretary Hegseth said that the United States will ensure deterrence across the Taiwanese Strait, stopping short once again of promising direct U.S. military assistance if Taiwan is attacked. Though the previous president did clearly say that the United States would come to the defense of Taiwan, which was definitely a breach of long-standing agreements and long-standing tradition of what the United States says to China. An earthquake of magnitude 7.0, it was originally recorded as 7.1, but has been adjusted down to 7.0, struck off the coast of Tonga. A tsunami warning was issued, but then later rescinded. Major earthquakes popping off across the world after that major 7.7 in Myanmar, in Burma. Big deal over there, and we're seeing a number of these major earthquakes happening If you're in an earthquake-prone area like, I don't know, California, you might want to be paying attention to that one. Make sure you are prepared for any kind of large-scale earthquakes. German orbital rocket crashed instead of flew on its first launch from continental Europe. So a Norwegian launch pad was used to launch this rocket, and it made it up about 30 seconds before it just kind of tipped over. Also discouraging that the flight abort system apparently failed to detonate the rocket, and so it literally just hit the water and exploded. I don't know how many fish or sharks or whales may have been injured in the explosion, but those Europeans should be paying more attention to how they're protecting wildlife, because their launch abort systems should be working more appropriately. Just showing how far behind the Europeans are from SpaceX. It's downright embarrassing, honestly. Ex-Wall Street Journal reporter Azra Nomani has begun documenting the groups funding anti-Tesla protests, or really riots, around the United States. So far has linked over 24 groups in their so-called Pearl Project. This is a big deal and has been already released publicly, and the database is now being added to as more information is coming out. This is going to give us a comprehensive list of organizations funding and sponsoring the terrorism that is happening in the United States. A Watchmen reporting that big ice storm here in North Michigan. Power outages are widespread. It's a great day to be a prepper. 142,000 people or households in northern Michigan still without power after that ice storm. It's, I don't know if it's a good day to be a prepper, but it certainly is a day that you wish you were a prepper if you weren't, right? Bonnie in southeast central Pennsylvania. Local meat guy says he can't get any fresh turkey products for the past 2 months. They are sourced here in the East Coast. Barbara says Pennsylvania low on dairy stuff for a while now. Marty says here in North Carolina, they did do a chicken truckload sale back, I believe, or shortly after the cough. They would rotate through the area, and this went on for some time, which really helped folks financially. It was amazing that a company would put people before profit. I mean, it's great. I mean, it's like volunteer work, right? Most people don't do volunteer work, and when companies actually do something like that, it's basically like company is volunteering. Michael says, mid-Michigan, I was shopping at my local farm store, a Tractor Supply, and they had chicks. I say around 20 of them. I asked the store worker how long they've had them available. His reply was that they got a big order on Monday and they still had these left on Saturday. He stated it was the first time in weeks that they had chicks of any significant numbers for sale. This was a good sign to me that the egg shortage is finally over. Well, maybe not over, but it's getting closer, right? We're starting to hit that peak. So you may see a bunch of pullets or chicks start getting dumped out there once people start not wanting to raise chickens anymore. So if you're looking for chickens, keep your ear to the ground. Keep your eye on Facebook posts and stuff like that. If people are trying to get rid of the chickens that they started to raise, but have realized that they don't really want to raise them anymore. Stephanie says, I live in South Dakota. They are closing a meat processing plant, beef plant, close to where I live. 250 people now without work. We're getting a whole bunch of those reports out there from all over of meat packing plants, chicken, turkey, as well as beef plants. They're shutting down. And we're being told that they're shifting that production over to other plants, but we're not hearing of new plants getting open. We're just hearing of them getting shut down, and it concentrated in existing plants more, supposedly. But it looks like what we're seeing is actually a reduction in capacity to produce meat. They want us eating the bugs. Ken says, Northeast Tennessee, yes, there have been shortages of canned fruit here as well. However, the one kind of canned fruit I always have been able to find is fruit cocktail. MMC says, went to my local grocery store today in Phoenix to get Best Foods mayonnaise and McCain's Irish oatmeal or any steel-cut oats. None of them were available. Marcia, no cocoa powder at Sam's Club. Remember that there is the shortage of cocoa powder out there. Even chocolate manufacturers are having a hard time getting their hands on it, like Hershey's and others. Happy Gardner says, dairy in Western Ohio, update, was just at the local mega store here on Friday. Dairy was fully stocked for now, and the store brand cheeses were on sale. Lots of mixed origin foods are on sale as they prep for new packaging. Fresh veg was spotty, with some items low, and quality was very erratic. A lot of folks cruising the meat aisles for sales. Not that many sales out there these days, though. Sweet and Spicy One says, tip. It does matter if you are a small or big town. It doesn't matter if you're a small or a big town. The fastest way to see what is in stock and prices is to use Instacart. Now, they're not actually saying use Instacart to buy stuff, but it pulls up at least 20 or 30 stores, grocery stores or Dollar Tree stores, Costco's, Sam's, restaurant supply stores across your area. And I have noticed that the Dollar Trees and dollar stores are not oftentimes the cheapest because it compares the prices of those items across the stores. Just search by the keyword for an item and it will pull up all the stores and prices that have that item and show you the price. If you are in a small town, it just shows you the few stores that you have. But it does even show liquor stores if they sell food and other similar type stores near you. It pulls in stores for around 20 miles, give or take a few miles. Saves a lot of time and money from having to drive or call or even search their websites. So if you're looking for inventory, if you're trying to find something specific, or you're trying to compare prices, you can use that trick. Use Instacart. Of course, if you order from Instacart, it's going to be a little pricey getting that stuff to you, but you can at least use it for free just to check prices. Bella says, this is a story here. It's absolutely crazy. Follow along with me. Bella says, I have stepped away from the Big Brother medical. Consulted a doctor from all places, YouTube, about my primary care provider, wanting me to take poisonous statins. The new doctor online has been reducing my blood pressure medication, and guess what? It's the lowest it's ever been on 4 blood pressure meds I've ever taken for years. I had a cardiac artery test score done to measure the amount of plaque in my arteries. Guess what? It came back 0. I'm 66 and have 0 plaque in my arteries. If I hadn't spent the money and had to cover the cost of the doctor who doesn't deal with insurance companies, I might have been forced onto these medications I so clearly did not need, plus the additional expense of paying for this medication that I don't need every month until the day I die. What's really scary is no insurance will pay for the test itself. Cost out of pocket was $175 because they consider it experimental. I said, no, the experiment has been giving multiple medications to people who don't want them. That's been the experiment. It's so sad. A doctor I consulted said it's malpractice for my PCP to continue trying to push these meds on me when I have 0 risk of heart attack for at least the next 10 years. Because if you don't have any plaque, then you can't have a heart attack. They're just using the blood pressure meds to be like, you're going to have a heart attack. When that's not how medicine works. If you don't have any plaque in your arteries, you can't have a heart attack. It's like the definition of it, which a heart attack is the blockage of your artery. Okay? So whether it's just lazy doctoring or whether it's just over-medication, cost for the first consult lasted an hour. I paid $350. After the insurance paid me back and the follow-up appointment, 30 to 45 minutes, was $250. The other doctor has saved me the monthly cost of poison and has got me almost off 2 additional blood pressure meds. So he's saving my health and me money every month. You have to advocate for yourself. Good luck. Are you getting second opinions, friends? Are you researching things yourself? Are you researching those medications and making sure that that you're not being prescribed stuff? It's scary to think about how many vacations and trips doctors are going on, funded by these medication companies, because they prescribe X number amount of them. Especially these popular ones. Do you actually need those prescriptions, or are they just issuing them to you? It impacts your health. You need to advocate for you. You need to be watching out for you, or you need to be watching out for your loved ones, right? Because unfortunately, in this day and age, you cannot count on professionals doing it for you. Hopefully you have a great doctor, but even good doctors these days are being overwhelmed by the amount of work that they need to do. They may have the same number of patients, but they have 2, 3, 4, 5 times the amount of paperwork that they used to have. And the truth is, they never get in trouble for prescribing you something. They get in trouble for not prescribing you something. If they need to err on one side of things, they're going to err on the side of over-prescribing. And it's your health that suffers. All right, friends, keep us updated on what's going on out there. Make sure you use that word update in your comment if you have something to share. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold about what you can do with your retirement account, there's a link right there on the screen. Just tap it, fill out your information, and they will reach out to you with information and answer your questions. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining us. Steve Poplar of The Poplar Report out.